Right now, a family searching for answers 6 years after a woman's murder. What investigators are still trying to figure out and how you can help.
Plus, 2 men charged in a deadly shooting right outside the Dane County Jail last year, sentenced in court today. What the victims' family members had to say. That's all coming up right now at 10. Tonight, a Wisconsin family continues to search for justice and find the person responsible for their daughter's death.
It was June 23rd back in 2007 when UW-Whitewater student Kelly Nolan disappeared after a night out on State Street here in Madison. 16 years later, authorities are still searching for her killer.
After an extensive search, her body was found more than 2 weeks later on June 9th in the town of Dunn, that's west of Lake Kagonza. Her death was ruled a homicide, and in 2014, officials updated her death certificate to say she died of blunt force trauma to the torso with fractures.
Now, it's been a long and hard fight for justice for the Nolan family, but one they say they will never give up.
Her sister sat down with our Armand Rahman, renewing a call echoed by the Madison Police Department. Never forget Kelly Nolan.
It's a hard day. For me, this was the last day I spent with Kelly.
For April Buffo, this apartment building brings back fond memories she shared with her sister Kelly.
It was a very small space. It worked out perfectly, while she was here over the summer and close to everything.
And cuts a still open wound deeper.
Well, just being here right now, like the same day, the day before she died, this is where we were. We had gone shopping and I came back here and dropped her off at her place where she lives.
It was in the State Street area that summer on a night out with friends. Kelly Nolan went missing. Her body, unfortunately, found in the nearby town of Dunn 16 days later. Now, 16 years later, Nolan's family hasn't lost sight of justice.
The person that did this is still out there, so I don't want this to happen to anybody else.
Madison Police's Violent Crimes Unit hasn't given up hope either, through generations searching for Kelly's killer.
Incredibly frustrating. I know the detectives that worked on this that are now retired gave their heart and soul into this case, and I know it's probably incredibly frustrating to them, and it's incredibly frustrating to us at this point as well.
Captain Daniel Nails says it's important the community remembers the case is far from closed.
That might put them over the edge to give us a call with something that they felt may not have been important before, but again, could be that one little piece of information that we need.
Because Kelly could be anyone.
Thinking, well, it would never happen to me. Like, I thought the same thing. I never, ever, ever would have thought something like this would happen in my family. And here I am today now pleading for justice for my sister. And
in Madison, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
Anyone with information on Kelly Nolan's murder is asked to call Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen. Today, 2 men who admitted to killing a 32-year-old man as he was being released from the Dane County Jail last year will spend decades behind bars.
This is 21-year-old Damone Cummins and 26-year-old Amon Galtney. Cummins pleaded guilty to 1 count of first-degree intentional homicide in the death of 32-year-old Dwayne Lee Collins Jr. Police say Cummins shot him multiple times as he was leaving the jail. This was late March of 2022. Galtney pleaded guilty to first-degree intentional homicide as party to a crime. Prosecutors say he was the one driving the getaway vehicle and struck multiple vehicles while fleeing. And today, a judge sentenced both men to stay in prison till they turn 65. And that's when they'll be eligible for extended supervision. For Cummins, that's 2066. For Galtney, that's 2061. Collins' family said they didn't know the shooter. Cummins think they think he may have been paid to kill Collins, but they do know Galtney, someone who they had once considered family.
You stayed nights at our house. It wasn't nothing that you kids asked me for that if I had, I wouldn't give it to you. Or to know you was in that car, it took some from me.
Cummins and Galtney led police in a high-speed chase through Madison before they were arrested. Prosecutors say the killing was likely gang-related and mentioned the investigation into others who may have been involved is still ongoing.
So we've been talking about it all week, the possibility of some rain for the weekend. Now that the weekend is basically here, that is still appears likely. Julian Seawright is on the patio tonight with when we might finally get to see that rain relief.
That's right, Charlotte. We are expecting to see some of that rain getting into our Saturday nights, which is good news because we have plenty of activities to start off for this weekend. It might not be likely for Sunday to be out there, be able to get outside and enjoy them, but for tomorrow, well, we are going to be looking that to be likely for us until we get into that rain. So as of right now, the rain itself, we're starting to see some showers north of Dane County and really into the northern parts of Wisconsin. But this is what we're watching for. Getting into Saturday, mainly Saturday nights into our Sunday, we have a marginal risk for severe weather just west and southwest of Dane County, and even parts of Dane County are within that marginal risk. We have that slight risk, which is mainly into the eastern side of Iowa and on the border, just getting into parts of Grant County and for Lafayette County in itself as well. So we're really looking at the timing of the rain to come late into our Saturday evening around 9, 10 o'clock, and then be more widespread once we get into the overnight hours. But once we get into Sunday morning, you can expect it to be very widespread and sticking around throughout the course of our Sunday, and may have a break period, but we're still looking for it to recollect itself and recycle back into southern Wisconsin once we get into our Monday. We'll talk more about how much rain is coming up in a few moments, but until then, we're going to talk about the air quality advisories that's also going to be in effect until 11 p.m. for Saturday. So folks, remember, going into tomorrow, it's going to be a hot one, it's going to be a hazy one, and on top of it, it's still going to be rather dry. So it's going to be the best opportunity for us to be able to enjoy anything outdoors. But for those who are within the sensitive groups that have either heart or lung type of diseases or issues, make sure you limit your outdoor activities when you go outside. We'll talk more about the rain for this weekend coming up in a few moments. Until then, over to you.
Julian, thank you. Police are hoping the public can help identify a man who groped a woman at a Quick Trip earlier this month. Here's a look at the man. In the police incident report, a woman reported a stranger touched her inappropriately from behind while in that Quick Trip on Fish Hatchery Road. This allegedly happened around 10 at night, June 6th. Anyone who recognizes this individual and can make an identification is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 608-266-6014.
Affordable housing help is on the way for Wisconsin. Governor Tony Evers signed 5 bills into law establishing loan programs for builders and landlords. This will make it easier for developers to get permits for new residences. Republicans set aside more than $500 million to fund those new loans. They're targeted for projects to improve aging units, expand infrastructure such as roads and utilities to serve affordable housing, and converting vacant commercial buildings into affordable housing. In a statement, the governor said access to safe, reliable, and affordable housing statewide is an absolutely critical part of addressing Wisconsin's long-standing workforce challenges.
Wisconsin's budget for the next 2 years is finally budgeted and headed for a floor vote next week. Now, included in that proposed budget, $3.5 billion in tax cuts, as well as millions of dollars in cuts for the UW system, aimed at eliminating diversity, equity, and inclusion offices and programs. The ranking Senate member of the Budget Writing Committee, Milwaukee Democrat Senator LaTanya Johnson, was not thrilled over some of the cuts included.
This was an opportunity for us to do a lot more for the constituents of Wisconsin. It was an opportunity for us to make investments that we otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity to make. Instead, we made cuts where we should have made more investments. So that was a huge letdown for me.
Now we reached out to the Republican Senate Leader Devin LeMahieu to hear his thoughts, but didn't hear back. The full budget bill will head to the legislature's floor likely next week, and you can watch our full interview with State Senator Johnson. That's coming up on Sunday on For the Record, which airs at 10:30 right after CBS's Face the Nation.
Tomorrow marks 1 year since the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, removing federal protection for abortion access nationwide. Since that decision, public health leaders in Dane County say the reproductive landscape has changed dramatically, but the need for service has not changed. Dane County, together with the city of Madison, invested more than $1 million to expand services. For Planned Parenthood Wisconsin, the decision means partnering with their chapter in Illinois, locally handling only intake and aftercare for procedures done across the border. Lawmakers from Wisconsin also reflected on the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Governor Evers said he will continue to fight for a woman's right to choose.
I have always believed that the will of the people is the law of the land. I vetoed every bill that restricts reproductive rights that's come to my desk, and I promise that I will always fight for your reproductive freedom in every way I can and with every power I have.
Meanwhile, U.S. Senator Ron Johnson proposed the people decide in a referendum vote.
The beauty of the Dobbs decision is it sent it back to we the people to decide that profound moral issue. So what I proposed is a one-time single-issue referendum held in each state, whether it's binding or advisory, to again pose that question: have we the people decide at what point does society have the responsibility to protect life?
Next at 10, authorities arrest 8 people in Baraboo after finding crystal meth and heroin inside a residence. The Sauk County Drug Task Force executed that search on 11th Street earlier today. 8 people, both men and women, between the ages of 25 and 45, were arrested on a variety of charges related to drug possession. We're not naming them as they have not yet been formally charged in court with a crime.
A Sun Prairie man will go to prison for the next 7 years for his involvement in a child sex trafficking operation out of Green Lake County. 36-year-old Julio Valeda pleaded guilty to charges of conspiracy to commit sex trafficking. Prosecutors say he drove a 16-year-old girl between Dane and Green Lake counties multiple times for her to perform sex acts on dairy farm workers. They say this happened over a period of 5 months in 2019 until the girl called 911 on Thanksgiving that year. A total of 7 men have been arrested, charged, and sentenced in the case.
Former President Donald Trump setting aside millions of dollars to pay Jean Carroll, who won a lawsuit against him. Last month, Trump was found liable in a civil suit of sexually abusing Carroll during an encounter at a department store back in 1996. A jury awarded her $5 million in damages. Trump's lawyers today asked the judge to sign off on an agreement to transfer the money to a court-controlled account. If approved, Carroll would not have access to the money until all appeals have been exhausted, including potentially to the United States Supreme Court. More news is ahead on News 3 Now at 10.
An investigation continues into the implosion of the Titan submersible in the North Atlantic Ocean. We'll hear from some of those who knew those killed on board and where the investigation currently stands. That's next.
Have you heard? We've outgrown our space. Again! Save up to half off floor samples and special orders at Dwellings Construction Sale. Dwellings, interior design and home furnishings. Still Madison's best kept $150 secret.
To everyone who appreciates a handcrafted meal, are you ready for a taste of Wisconsin?
Butterburger's cooked fresh, just the way you like.
The way you love.
Definitely love. And our thick and creamy frozen custard, we make it for you
All throughout the day. All day.
All day, every day. Put it in the extra work and not cutting corners. Takes a little longer.
But it's how we've always done it at Culver's. Because making your meal with care shows how much we care.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
I had a lot of bad days with gout, but that one took the wedding cake. Even with medicine, my uric acid was still too high to stop painful gout buildup. Then a gout specialist told me about Cristexa.
Cristexa is a prescription medicine for adults with gout whose symptoms are not controlled by other gout medicines.
I learned Cristexa quickly starts working to break down gout buildup.
Cristexa is an infused medicine. Serious life-threatening allergic reactions can occur while taking Cristexa. Tell your doctor right away if you have symptoms such as shortness of breath, trouble breathing, dizziness, itching, or swelling of the throat or tongue. Cristexa is not recommended if you have high levels of uric acid without a history of gout. Do not take Cristexa if you have a rare disorder called G6PD deficiency or favism. Before receiving Cristexa, tell your doctor if you have a history of heart problems and all the medicines you take. Cristexa may cause gout flare-ups, allergic reactions, nausea, bruising, sore throat, constipation, chest pain, and vomiting.
I received Cristexa for about 6 months. Now I'm in control, not gout.
Find a doctor who specializes in gout at goutdocnow.com.
The Chevy RS family of SUVs has it all. Whether you want the 10.2-inch diagonal color touchscreen on the Chevy Blazer or extra peace of mind with Chevy Safety Assist standard on the 2023 Chevy family of SUVs. So take your pick. The choice is yours. Spring into adventure and get 1.9% financing on select popular Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial. Plus, make no monthly payments for 90 days. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Have you heard? We've outgrown our space. Again! Save up to half off floor samples and special orders at Dwellings Construction Sale. Dwellings, interior design and home furnishings. Still Madison's best kept $150 secret.
On the Jennifer Hudson Show. Cheers to Chelsea Handler.
Jennifer Hudson has never had a sip of a cocktail. I don't know what your plan is.
And from The Last of Us is Nico Parker.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Searchers have moved forward with recovery efforts the day after the U.S. Coast Guard said all 5 people aboard the Titan were killed when the submersible imploded.
This was while on a voyage to see that sunken Titanic located at a depth of more than 12,000 feet in the North Atlantic Ocean. Chris Tanaka shares where the investigation stands now.
Both Canada and the U.S. have now launched investigations into the catastrophic implosion of the Titan. Thousands of feet below sea level, remotely operated vehicles continue to probe for evidence that might reveal what caused the tragedy.
We can go back to the blueprints and reconstruct parts of the vessel and then subject those materials, for example, the carbon fiber main part of the hull, to the kind of cycles that the vessel went through.
Titanic movie director James Cameron is also an expert on deepwater exploration and questions the vessel's carbon fiber design.
I was very suspect of the technology that they were using. I wouldn't have gotten in that sub.
The co-founder of OceanGate Expeditions, the company behind the 22-foot submersible, is defending CEO Stockton Rush, who was piloting the craft on its mission to explore the sunken Titanic.
He was very keenly aware of the risks of operating in the deep ocean environment, and he was very committed to safety.
Also killed, Titanic expert Paul-Henri Nargeolet. Nargeolet's stepson spoke to WCBS.
I think it means a lot that he spent his final moments, near a scene in the world that meant so much to him.
Some of the families of the 5 people killed in the implosion are calling for an investigation as they mourn their loved ones. Chris Tanaka, CBS News, Boston.
The FDA released new draft guidance today on clinical trials that use psychedelic drugs. Researchers have been exploring the use of psychedelics to treat certain medical conditions, including psychiatric and substance abuse disorders. The FDA says that while these treatments have shown initial promise, clinical trials need to consider the unique characteristics of the drugs. The new guidance outlines how to collect data and conduct trials involving psychedelics. It also highlights potential risks for mood changes and hallucinations when experimenting with such drugs and discusses measures that can be taken to prevent drug misuse.
Well, the Big Top Parade returns to the streets of downtown Baraboo tomorrow morning. It is the last parade for the elephants from the Circus World Museum, who are off to retirement down south after the event. Viola and Kelly are the 2 most recent elephants Baraboo has had, with a connection to the animals that dates back more than 100 years. News 3 Now is proud to be part of this year's Big Top Parade in Baraboo. I will be one of the guest judges along with Craig Culver and Allison Dairyland. The Big Top Parade kicks off at 11 a.m. and we hope to see you there. Well, voting is still open for the Best of Madison 2023, and you have 1 more week until the end of the month to vote for your favorite businesses, people, things to do, and so much more.
She's in multiple categories. I'm only in one. Head to channel3000.com, look for this story on our homepage. Scroll down to the bottom of the article, and you can click on each category to vote. Registering just takes a valid email address. Don't forget you can only vote once per category. Well, take a look at this video. This is out of Idaho. A tornado confirmed there today, and based off the angle here, the tornado appears to resemble, well, you decide.
The single finger salute.
It's telling you it doesn't want you nearby. This is from the city of Grace in the southeastern corner of the state. It's flipping them off there, I guess. Charlotte's going to be at this parade tomorrow with her shovel, or with the elephants. Oh, no, you're going to judge something? Is that what?
I'm judging the parade.
I thought you were following the elephants around with a shovel.
Yeah, no, I think that's what you are dreaming I could do.
That's what I do.
Yes.
Julian, we've got a kind of a split deal on the forecast this weekend, though.
That's right. So you don't have to worry about bringing rain gear with you.
Okay, good.
Thankfully.
I'm only supposed to be in Western wear.
You're going to be fine with that.
And my shovel.
A little bit hot, though. It's going to be
Western wear.
Western wear is definitely going to be hot for tomorrow.
I'll have pictures.
Get your cowboy hat? We need those pictures on social media.
I have cowboy hat, boots. I'm all ready.
Oh, I'm ready for this then myself.
It's going to be a huge turnout.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing. But nevertheless, it's going to be a hot one for tomorrow. And getting into our forecast, we also still have an air quality advisory in effect for ozone and for any kind of wildfire smoke until Saturday nights at 11 p.m. And that's for all of Wisconsin, folks. So we're still going to be dealing with a bit of some hazy conditions, but that looks to phase out once we get into Saturday nights as that system starts to make its way into the upper Midwest, thankfully starting to clear up a bit of that air for us. Now, taking a look at our rain as of right now, Yes, you may see a severe thunderstorm warning on, but that's not for us. That's for our friends over towards the west. We are quiet here in southern Wisconsin with a couple of showers starting to develop north of I-39. Around southern Wisconsin, we're not going to be seeing any action until we get into Saturday night. However, marginal risk for severe weather is going to be southwest of Dane County and a slight risk even further near Platteville, Dubuque, and the border of Iowa. So we also are looking for our main threats to be heavy rainfall, high winds, some small hail is possible, but nevertheless, the winds and heavy rain is what we're really going to be expecting. Now, the timing of this is really going to start around 9 o'clock Saturday night and then overnight into our early Sunday mornings when we're expecting widespread rain that's going to continue throughout southern Wisconsin. Might see a break going into Sunday night, but it will return as we get into our Monday and start to push its way a bit more east. So areas to the south and west from Platteville, Boscobel, Lone Rock, and Mineral Point, late into our Monday afternoon, you might not see any rain anymore. It'll probably just be sticking around from Dane County into areas to the east. Now, how much rain we're going to be expecting? Well, for that, it's a bit of a up and down, but nevertheless, we are looking between the range of about 1/4 to about 3/4 of an inch. Some areas could even see that inch or even more, especially the further north that you are. You could see about an inch of rainfall once everything is all said and done by the time we get into our Monday. But nevertheless, around Madison, we're going to be expecting to see about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Some areas could see that inch. Some areas could see even less. Here's our 3 things to know. We are looking for those lower 90s to be possible for tomorrow. Showers and thunderstorms are going to be likely this weekend. Again, specifically is going to be Saturday night into our Sunday. And the next week, we're actually going to be sliding back into 70s and the lower 80s for us here in southern Wisconsin. Take a look at our first warned 10-day forecast. You can see the drop in those temperatures starting off with Sunday. Lower 80s already, and with the cloud cover and the continued rain, we're going to be struggling to even get to the lower 80s from a Sunday to our Monday. Then for the rest of the week, we're looking at cooler conditions for Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday is the first time we're going to be having our concerts on the square for us here in Madison, and it's looking to be perfect. Might see a shower at night. Then for the rest of the week, staying in the lower 80s, but we're also going to be seeing a bit of some chances of some rainfall for us here in southern Wisconsin for Thursday and for Friday.
And coming up in sports, the Brewers started off their road trip with some extracurricular activities from Willie Adames. How he outscored the Guardians by himself. Next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Intuitive sit to start in the all-electric ID4. It's the little things. It's a VW. Visit your Volkswagen dealer today and get a $7,500 lease bonus on a new 2023 all-electric ID4.
At Lawton Cates, we connect you with top medical specialists after a serious injury. We hold the insurance company responsible for your lost wages and hospital bills, and we won't accept anything less than what you deserve. Your life counts. Lawton Cates.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do calzones.
Papa Murphy's does calzones?
Oh, I think you mean I do the calzones.
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Oh, well, we do it with fresh ingredients and hand-shredded cheese tucked in a scratch-made dough.
That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
Hey, don't forget the calzones.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Spectrum brings us Spectrum One, where Spectrum Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and unlimited mobile come together to keep you seamlessly connected wherever you are! Why did you switch?
With Spectrum One, we get a super fast, reliable connection.
And the advanced Wi-Fi has enhanced security and privacy features that automatically block online threats.
How reliable is Spectrum Mobile?
It's a super reliable service coast to coast.
Switch to Spectrum One and get internet for $49.99 a month, plus free advanced Wi-Fi and one free line of unlimited mobile. Call 1-833-685-4999.
Attention, Wisconsin veterans.
I'm Tony Evers, the governor of Wisconsin. If you are a veteran struggling to pay for rent, utilities, or other life-sustaining services, I want you to know that the Veterans Rental Assistance Program is here to help. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued to veterans in just days, not months. You have already made a most noble sacrifice. You shouldn't have to continue doing so. we are here to support you. With pride in the way, it's never easy to ask for assistance, but rest assured we are here to help. The VRAP team is standing by to help. So call 833-WISC-VRAP or visit vrapwi.com. You've always been there for us. We want you to know that we're here for you. On behalf of the state of Wisconsin, thank you.
At Foster Funeral and Cremation Services, we honor legacies. Let us take care of the arrangements so you can focus on saying goodbye. Veteran-owned and operated. Experience exceptional care and affordable service with Foster Funeral and Cremation Services.
Why are there 2 extra seats? I know, Uncle Dane and his giant beard.
The Volkswagen Atlas with best-in-class third-row legroom. Get 3.9% APR financing for 60 months on new 2023 Atlas Family SE Tech with 4Motion models. Limited inventory available.
Last night was Adrian Griffin's first NBA draft as the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, and the new man calling the shots in Milwaukee was making moves in the second round. The Bucks traded a future second-round pick and cash to the Orlando Magic to move up and draft Andre Jackson Jr. Last year with UConn, he led the Huskies to a national championship, scoring just under 7 points and 6 rebounds a game. 22 picks later, the Bucks closed the draft by selecting Chris Livingston 58th overall. In his lone season at Kentucky, the 6'6", 220-pound forward started 26 games where he averaged 6 points and 4 rebounds. Livingston was named to the All-SEC freshman team. Keanu Benton was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers and then went through rookie minicamp, OTAs, and mandatory minicamp, but until today, he wasn't even actually a Steeler. Now, the former Badger put pen to paper and signed his rookie contract today. It's a 4-year deal worth $7.3 million, but the best part for Benton, the first 3 years are guaranteed. Marcus Allen has announced that he's leaving Wisconsin again. The sophomore wideout put his name in the transfer portal after an eventful 8 months. Remember, back in October, he left the Badgers. Then in November, he committed to Minnesota, but a couple of weeks later, he pulled his name from the transfer portal, only to return to UW in December. In late April, he was arrested at the Mifflin Street block party, but today in his transfer tweet, he said the charges against him were dropped. Allen caught 7 passes for 91 yards and a touchdown last season. Brewers opening up a 10-game road trip, starting with the Guardians, and all the crew needed for this one was a bat, a ball, and Willie Adames. Top 6, Adames leaves the yard. No, really, he left the yard. This one couldn't be contained by Progressive Field, and that bomb put the Brew crew up even more. And how about a double dose of cheese? Another bomb for Willie Adames. He had 4 hits to go with his 2 homers on the day. Also 5 ribbies. Crew cruised to a 7-1 win. After a disappointing finish in this year's AmFam Championship, Jerry Kelly took a couple of weeks off to get his game ready so that he'd be ready for next week's U.S. Senior Open Championship. And the Madison native is no stranger to the course. Kelly played Century World back when he was in juniors, and even though the course is a little different from how it was back in the day, he's excited that this major is in his home state.
I mean, it doesn't get much better for us state guys to play in Wisconsin. Century World, we've got so much history here. To have it in our home state, playing to the home crowd. I like to play it just a little bit, but you know, I really want to perform. That's number one.
We'll be right back.
From installation, repairs, and maintenance to complete sewer and drain cleaning, visit MononaPFP.com.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
Lean back and enjoy the summer savings at the Century House. Right now, get a $100 instant rebate for every $1,000 you spend on any qualifying stressless seating. The more you spend, the more you can save instantly. So furnish an entire room with the most comfortable seating in the world and watch the savings add up. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
We went to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison last night.
I don't really get how the jackpots work.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison actually has had multiple million-dollar winners.
There are linked progressive slot machines at the same casino where local players increase the jackpot amount.
And a standalone progressive jackpot increases when a player plays on an individual machine that isn't linked to any other machine. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. More ways to win. Find your perfect jackpot.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Brothers Maine enjoys 4th of July festivities with family, friends, and fabulous kitchen and laundry deals. Our fireworks of savings on GE appliances and free delivery will make you ooh and ah. Feel like family at Brothers Maine.
Arby's, 2 for $7 every day. Arby's crispy classic chicken sandwich. 2 of those things for just $7. Arby's, we have the meat.
This is how legends are.
2024 Chevy Silverado HD with Duramax diesel. And the Chevy Silverado with powerful TurboMax engine. No matter what route you take, there's a Chevy truck to get you there. Find new roads. Get 1.9% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 LT TurboMax pickups, or current Chevy owners get a $5,750 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
What if in 1968 the mayor said nope to Summerfest? How many bands would you have never seen? Would hitting 12 stages in one day even be possible? Thankfully, 55 years ago, Summerfest was a yes. Don't miss Milwaukee Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance.
Canoe, the rivers of Shawnee, try 17th Street Barbecue. In the middle of everything, there's everything to do.
From installation, repairs, and maintenance to complete sewer and drain cleaning, visit MononaPFP.com.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
Call for action only on News 3 Now.
There's a new surfer getting a lot of attention at one California beach. It's Sammy the Seal. Day after day, he showed up at Pacific Beach in San Diego and hung out with those who usually hang 10. Marine experts are mystified by the pup's behavior.
Now, is he really surfing here? That's what or is he paddleboarding and relaxing in the sun? The surfers named him Sammy after the children's book. SeaWorld San Diego's phone was ringing off the hook with calls about Sammy. Their rescue team checked on him. They've said he's totally healthy. Turns out he's just really into, well, they say surfing again, but this is just kind of relaxing on the paddleboard is what it looks like to me. But certainly interesting.
Yeah, most definitely.
To see that.
I'd love to live that life for a couple days.
Just hanging out in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Final check of the forecast, Julian.
Things are going to be hot for us for tomorrow, but at least we're going to be having dry Saturday until Saturday night, and then we're going to be seeing some more rain for the weekend.
Well, thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you tomorrow at the Circus Parade.